Hello, everyone. I have known Kalyan for quite a few years. And a couple of years back, when I started thinking about doing my MBA and trying to take the GMAT, the first person that came to my mind was Kalyan. Kalyan has been doing this for more than a decade, and he's been fairly successful. And I have known Kalyan for as far as quite a few years. And a couple of years back, when I started thinking about doing my MBA and trying to take the GMAT, the first person that came to my mind was Kalyan. Kalyan has been doing this for more than a decade, and he's been fairly successful. And I have known Kalyan. Kalyan helped me with the GMAT exam itself, and I was fairly successful, and which led to the next step of application process. And I was completely clueless. I mean, I lived in the US for 9 years, but still, I didn't know where to start as far as applications, what's needed, what's not. And Core Leap was very efficient as far as handling the whole process. Kalyan was just one call away for any time, for any kind of help that I needed. And that was a huge plus point. And he was very meticulous with the process. He guided me step by step on what needs to be done. He helped me with picking the universities based on my interest, based on my score, based on my aspirations. His team put together a list of universities that I should go for, and that helped begin the process. So we narrowed it down to 5-6 universities, which he figured would be a best shot for me to get the ball rolling. And with that, we started with the application process. And his help with the essays for each of these schools, I mean, it's just brilliant. I mean, nobody would have done this. I mean, I've heard of other companies that help with the GMAT preparation, the application process, but Score Leap is leaps and notches ahead of all of the companies. They were dedicated. They gave it 110% as far as my application was concerned. Eventually, with all the applications turned in, I did get 3 offers, and one of it had 100% scholarship. It's called a fellowship, scholarship plus a monthly stipend. I mean, I couldn't have asked for any better support than what I've received. And I sincerely thank Kalyan and Score Leap team for helping me, guiding me through this process of getting through my MBA exam and subsequently getting an admit. And right now, sitting in the university talking about Score Leap. So I wish Kalyan and his team all the very best and bigger and greater success coming in the few years. So all the very best, guys. Thank you.
Wonderful. So this was Arjun Vasant, one of our students who had 100% scholarship, right, to the colleges that we helped him for his MBA program. So when we say he just didn't have scholarship, but he also had the fellowship, which means to say that he got scholarship plus the stipend every month to take care of his personal expenses. Right. So a lot of things goes into it. To build a very strong application essays, and B, to make sure that you not just get admission, but try to get admission with a scholarship. Right. After a few minutes, I'm also going to play another video of one of the student who got into a couple of colleges in Canada. But application process is something that a lot of students think that, hey, I can just do it in about 10-15 days. Ideally, things doesn't work like that, right? You need to really spend substantial amount of time on your application to make sure that you put in a very strong application, right? A lot of research, a lot of work goes into it. So I'm going to spend some time trying to help you understand with our experience of helping thousands of students over the last decade, okay, through Score Leap and through the company before that I worked with, how we were able to send thousands of students into their dream programs, not just admission, but with the scholarship. How? And what are the parameters? What are the factors that contributes for a student to get into the top colleges such as Yale, Columbia, Kellogg's, Wharton, right? Harvard, London Business School, London School of Economics, HSC Paris, INSEAD, you name a college in top 10, 15 in US and UK and in Canada, how these guys were able to secure a fantastic admission is what I'm going to talk to you now, right? Okay, so I hope you guys were able to see the presentation. It's kind of live, so I was just trying to check with. Can you guys see the presentation? Can you see the presentation? I'll just share once again, just to make sure that you guys can see my presentation too. I'm just going to double share that you can see my presentation. So this is my presentation. So is it visible? So I'm just checking whether the presentation is visible, because a lot of factors that I'm going to talk about are presented in this. And I'm also going to use my the digital part to also write and explain certain important aspects, guys. These are going to be very important on building your application essays, building your whole application to make sure that you get an admission to a dream college with scholarship, right? So let's take a look at it. Okay, so so I'm just trying to go to the next page. Hey, what happened to this? Okay, cool, got it. All right, some of the testimonials of former students who got into colleges like Stanford. Neeraj Biani from Paperboard had a score of 710. We helped him with our admission with Stanford GSB for MS6 program. And some of engineering students, Lohit to Washington State University with full scholarship, Kritika from MS in finance and things like that. Right. So let us understand what are the different factors that essentially goes into building a strong essays. Right. Now, the first and the foremost thing, what is very, very important is to choose the right program, guys. I keep hearing from this many people, right? Like you come from a particular background and you want to apply for a program that is nowhere connected to your academic background. Right, not a very good thing, right? Not a very good thing, not a very positive thing, right? It is important that you choose a program that is related to your academic program that you have done in your undergrad. Assuming that you want to change the stream, right? Then it is important that you also acquire certain qualifications, right? You also acquire certain amount of subject knowledge, right, to demonstrate the interest to those colleges, saying that, hey, I'm interested in this particular program, therefore I have done courses in these areas and I aced it. I've also gathered an amount of work experience in that area, and now I want to build on that. Okay, that can be a better option, right? So otherwise, let's say that you have done let's say industrial engineering and want to shift to, let's say, computer science. That's going to be a very difficult shift, right? That's going to be a very, very difficult shift. Chances are getting admission are much lesser, right? But if you wanted to, then it is important that you take a year break, learn a lot of computer related courses, take a lot of computer related courses and gain some experience in the software field, and show that, hey, you are super interested and therefore you have done these things and now ready to take the next step, right? It's very important to choose the right program. In addition to that, when you choose the right program, it is always important to ask yourself, which MS program I want to do and why, right? The answer should be relatively clear. You're not, see, there are different reasons for different people to go abroad. If your reasons to go abroad is simply like, let's say, I want to just migrate, I want to just go abroad, then really doesn't matter, right? But if your goal is you want to really build a career on that, then it does matter a lot, right? Why you want to do a particular MS program, right? What is your interest, right? What are the career prospects in that, right? You need to have a clear cut understanding. It should not be a random selection process, right? Very, very important, particularly when we talk about master's program. Okay, this may not be directly relevant to an MBA student. MBA, understandable that you have certain amount of work experience and then you want to take your career to the next level, therefore MBA. That's fine. But more specific to MS students, I see a lot of confusion prevailing around which program and why. Okay, these questions needs to be answered very, very well. Right? It's not purely based on the popularity of the program, but it's also how much you can fit in and how much you can stand out. And what is a career path? What is a career trajectory that you are, envisaging for yourself? Very important, right? Particularly if you're applying for research, MS programs, and if you're an engineering graduate, it's important to see what kind of research opportunities that these colleges provide, right? Engineering students have to demonstrate research inclination, have to see what kind of research opportunities are available for the students. You also need to understand who are the faculty members. Do you know who are the faculty members? Have you done the research on the colleges that you're planning to apply? Right? Who are the faculty members? I don't see a lot of students doing this. Okay, a very, very I don't know, shows that you're not very interested. You just want to get into the program because probably the hype of it or something, but you don't really know why you're getting into the program. So it is important that you do significant amount of research on who are the faculty members, what courses are they taking, what they have done in the past, what books they have published, what research they're currently working on. You need to have an in-depth understanding, right, while you're selecting a program for yourself. So is this is what you want to do, right? Okay, and career advancement services, career advancement offices. What kind of career advancement services or offices available in that university that you plan to apply? Right? Do they help you get the jobs, or will they guide you get the jobs? Do they connect you? Do they connect you to an alumni who are working in the companies that you want to get in? What kind of service that you can get from that particular career advancement office of the university that you're looking to apply for? Right? Because ultimately we are looking for a career progression, right? So does the university has systems in place to help you to take your career to the next stage? That's very, very important, right? One thing that you need to understand is none of the colleges in US or in UK or in Canada have something like in India where you have day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, people coming, the companies coming to the campus, conducting interviews and hiring, giving you a offer and hiring. No, that doesn't happen, right? You need to network. You need to network, which means to say that you need to see whether your college, the university that you're targeting it, has a huge alumni network, and where they, what they are doing, right? What they are doing. Do the college had an alumni of a similar background that like that of yours, and had completed successfully the program and doing something great post to that particular master's degree? You need to do that. You need to do that kind of a research and analysis. Don't randomly apply. It doesn't help you, right? Very, very important. And then so alumni network is very, very important. You need to do a significant amount of research on that. Who is alumni and where they are, what they are doing, etc. And just to run through some funding opportunities, basically you have different kind of assistantships. You have research assistantship, teaching assistantship, and graduate assistantships, right? These are scholarships that you get during the time of admission. You also have internship programs like corporate leadership internship programs, engineering internship programs. Most of these programs, and this is not for MBA, this I'm talking for MS students. Most of these programs, if you get in, you will get 100% of your scholarship waived. And you also get a monthly stipend of certain amount to take care of your personal expenses of your stay in that particular country. And this is not for MBA students though. For MBA students, the fees is not waived. You will get only summer internship programs, right? And you will get paid stipend during that time. But otherwise, the fees is not waived. Only for master students, the tuition fees is waived, plus you also get stipend. The research assistantship, teaching assistantship, graduate assistantship, you can do it while you are there in the university. Work for about 20 hours per week with a professor or a graduate department, and then you get paid. Internships, normally you work with a corporate during your, you can work during the school days, 20 hours a week, and during vacation, you can work 40 hours a week, right? Again, these are some funding opportunities, but let's get into the criteria for scholarship, right? And rather for admission as well into your dream college and the scholarship. Very important, guys. The first and the foremost thing, you need to have a very good academic background. You need to have first class throughout. Very important when you're looking at some of the top colleges, when you're looking at some of the top 25 colleges, it is important that your academic background is consistent. You just can't, hey, you know what, I just randomly want to apply to Cornell, want to randomly apply to Georgia Tech, I want to randomly apply to, let's say, HSC Paris or any of the top programs, right? It is important that you look into your profile. Do I have an academic exceptional, consistent, more importantly, more than exceptional, let me say consistent academic background, right? Throughout you should be in first class, have no backlog, 70-80% minimum, right? But when you're looking at some of the colleges, the top colleges, top 15-20 colleges, you're looking at around being in 80% and above, right? But otherwise, it is very important that you have a consistent academic background, track record, right? No backlogs, right? And things like that. And then your GRE or GMAT score has to be stellar, right? We're not talking about having some, middle level scores. It is very, very important that you have great scores. When I say great scores, let me define this. If you are looking at University X and the average score of University X is, let's say, 660, then you are looking at a score of 680 plus 20 points in the school's average. You should be above at least 20-25 points above the school's average to stand a great chance to get admitted into that particular college, of course, with scholarship. And then you need to have significant amount of internship and full-time work experience, depending upon what program you're applying. If you're applying for master's program, it is very important. Internship opportunities, internship experience valued a lot. In today's world, unlike about a decade ago, today we have huge amount of internship opportunities. Now, it is you, and internship opportunity won't come to you. Okay, if you're thinking that, hey, somebody has to come and give me internship opportunity, that's not going to happen. Do you have interest? Then you will go all the way out to find the right kind of opportunities. Internship opportunities are mandatory. I'm telling you explicitly, at least minimum of 3 internship experiences are most important during your academic career. Okay, most important, right? Okay, internship opportunities, internship experience is very, very important. And then coming to MBA programs, full-time work experience, minimum of 2.5-3 years. By the time you get an admit, you need to have 3 years of full-time work experience, right? And when you talk about full-time work experience, guys, particularly for MBA students, it is not necessarily about how big companies you're working with. No, it is about what kind of role that you played and what kind of impact that you created in the company that you worked for. That becomes very, very important. You might be working with, let's say, an investment banking firm like Goldman Sachs, and you might be a vice president. But if your career graph, if I look at your achievements, there is no substantial amount of achievements. You are there by default, but otherwise there is no character arc, there is no transformation, there is no arc in the career. I need to say that arc. What kind of challenges that you faced? Right? What kind of situation that have you come across? What kind of crisis have you resolved? Right? What kind of teams? What kind of environment that you worked in? How you create an impact, right, in the people's life in the organization that you work? Those experiences matters a lot, right? Tangible, qualitative and quantitative work experience matters a lot here. Okay, very important. Right? Just because you have some 3-4 years or 5 years of work experience working for some top-notch VC or a top-notch investment banking firm, no. Okay, that's not all. Right? There's a small portion of it, but you read what kind of impact that you created while working in such organization matters a lot. Coming to research experiences, again, if you are an engineering student applying, or even economic students, for example, It is very important to show that you have significant amount of research experience. Without a research experience, getting a scholarship will be very difficult. Admissions, yes, scholarship could be very challenging, right? It is very important that you publish at least one paper during your undergraduate time, right? Very important. Teaching experience for anybody is very, very important. Teaching, mentoring is something that demonstrate your leadership capabilities. When I'm talking about teaching experience, I'm not blindly talking about teaching some kids or teaching some students, right? It's about transformative experiences. Have you transformed somebody's life? Is there a story? Is there a story that you can talk to me about? That's teaching experiences. Don't blindly, hey, I went there and taught them. What? No, don't. It is super easy to say you are just faking the experience. Okay, don't fake the experiences, right? These experiences have to be real, right? Very, very important. Community experiences. I see a lot of profiles where, yes, you have a great GMAT score, no doubt about it, and you work with one of the big companies, great, but outside that there is nothing, right? There is no experience of whatsoever that we're talking about outside your profession. What is that you have done for the community that you're living in? What is that you have done for the society that you're living in, right? What kind of change that you have brought in? What matters to you actually? Anything matters to you outside your own little small world where you work for organization, come back, make some salary, watch Netflix and Prime and just sleep off, right? Is there anything? We need to talk about this. Community experiences today's life matters a lot. Most of the business schools, I don't know if whether you guys have a chance to go through the essays, okay, barring some of the Indian B schools essays, most of the business schools abroad are now focusing on individualistic experiences than just professional experiences. They are focusing on personal accomplishment rather than professional accomplishments, right? That's very, very important. And diversity in the experiences. What do you mean by diversity in experiences? Like, for example, you're a software engineer, but you also a musician, right? Okay, you are a teacher, but you are a karate fighter. A diversity, you see that? Okay, you are a doctor, but you're also an actor. Diversified experience, right? It is very important that you show different sides of you, right? Same side, going morning, eating, sleeping, and doing the same work, anybody can do it. Where is the diversity in your own self? How can I see a different sides of you, right? That's very important. That makes your application a lot more attractive. You understand what I'm saying? Unfortunately, in India, still we have not reached that level, but that's what distinguishes you, from another weak applicant. You know what I mean, right? That's the kind of a thing that we wanted, a completely diversified experience. I wouldn't expect you to do this, but you have done that. That's awesome. That's diversity. You understand? You got to show that kind of an experience when you're talking about admission with scholarship, right? You need to distinguish from the crowd, guys. There are 100 applications goes with software engineers working for, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, IBM, and Accenture, right? How are you different? Right? That's what it shows, a diversity experience. Now, okay, fine, working for Google, Microsoft, let's say Facebook, wonderful. But 4 years ago, that these credentials would have been great. But today, there are a lot of people are working for Google, a lot of people are working for Microsoft, a lot of people are working for Facebook. So distinguishing element has come down significantly, and that's where the diversity, the community experiences comes into the picture. It's not about yourself, guys. Most of the problem with us is it's always about me. Please get out of that me, right? It is about others. It is about the people that you're living with, the people you're working with, right? That's what we wanted to show. Okay, if that is not shown in application, then you're not looking at any of the top colleges, right? Now let's come to this main admission winning essays, guys. How do you write the admissions, admission winning essays, not just admission, but with the scholarships? Okay, now this is something which I've been talking to some of my students, and again, I'm going to talk to you as well on this, right? Admissions are not based on converting your resume into a data sheet or into a fact statement, okay, or into a white paper. Understand this. Admissions committee want to know about your story. Do you have a story to talk? Your own story. Do you have your story? Who are you as a person? Who are you? What is your background? Do you come from an affluent family, or do you come from a completely underprivileged, disadvantaged background? Right? And what was the transformation that you had from that to a stage where you are in today? What were the hardships? What were the humiliating experiences? What was the thing that you face in life? Right? What is the journey? I want to know your journey. What happened? Right? And from there, from that point A to the point B, what was your entire journey, and what are the challenges you face? How did you overcome those challenges? And in the process of overcoming those challenges, what did you learn, and how those experiences have transformed you as a better human being? How did those experiences made you a better human being, a better leader, a humble person, a person who is more compassionate, a person who shows empathy and sympathy to the people around him, a person who shows caring, a person who wants others to succeed, right? These are the things that go into the story. This is the whole story about you, right? Your story. Don't try to tell about industry. Oh, industry is shining. Let the industry shine. Who cares? Let the country shine. Who cares? They want to know you as a person. Tell your own story. Your story matters a lot. Your story. As I said, it's all about your personal challenges at every stage. Like, you must have gone through a bad childhood. You must have been bullied by your friends or schoolmates and things like that. You must have had gone through some kind of some kind of a physical, sexual, or social harassment, right? Talk about that. Or if you have somebody who has gone through a similar thing and that pained you, talk about that, because these are the impacts that created in life, right? These are the ones that will design your mind, create the frameworks in your mind, right? I didn't even know how to speak English until I was on, let's say, started to work, and in the first meeting I was humiliated. Now from there I'm handling international clients with an ease, and international clients only want to talk to me. That's a transformation what you have done. And not just that, you help many people like you traverse through that journey. That's a story. You understand? I'm just giving you some examples, right? And the stories are important. Stories are important. You understand? If you're a female candidate, there are certain kind of challenges that you face. If you're a male candidate, there are certain kind of challenges that you face. What are those challenges? If you have not faced any challenges, implies you have not done anything in your life. Very simple. That's what B schools look at. Okay, right? Story is everything. Story is all about the challenges that you faced during your journey from point A to point B, right? Very, very important. And in the process, how did you change others' life? What kind of impact have you made in others' life? Have you ever helped your co-worker succeed? Have you ever helped your let's say a classmate get a job? Have you helped someone with the homework or with the project work? Though it is not required, though it is not an obligation to do it all, have you taken initiative? A story, that's a story. I don't see a lot of times. I don't see any of the stories. Any of the stories I don't see, right? These are the stories that are important, right? You want to go to the top business school. Hey, can I go to Wharton, Kalyan? Can I go to Harvard? Can I go to Kellogg's? Yes, you can. But do you have the stories? People who have been there, done that, have gone through this journey, have done this. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? You have to have a kind of a journey, right? And you put across. Some of you guys, I'm sure you have, but you don't know how to articulate it, right? That is where a lot of things should come to the picture. That is where people like us will help you guys how to articulate your own story. And some I met are very, very shy. Oh, I don't know. I'm not very comfortable sharing the story of my side. Why? Come on. You need to share. They need to know who are you, right? So open up, please open up, shed all in inhibitions and narrate your real genuine story. It's very important. Don't try to hide. Okay, I have successes, I have failures. I failed in my 10th standard. I ruined it, right? I was going around with friends, I didn't study at all. I failed. Say that. And after that, the kind of humiliation that I have to go through, that's when I learned nobody cares for you. If you're not, you get humiliated by your relatives, friends, parents, teachers alike. At a point in time, I kind of thought I should end my life. But I said, no, I'm not going to give up. Right? So I sat and stayed and cleared, not just cleared, but I got a 98 percentile in my mathematics. Person challenge. You understand what I'm saying? Right? I changed the lives. And I was just reading a beautiful story, one of the recently, right? How he impacted, his tailor's life during the COVID times. Okay, not giving money, guys, not writing a check. I donate 20,000 rupees to Cry Foundation. That is not how you change lives, right? You go down, right? That is what it is about. Come up with your story. If there is no story, then there is nothing. Now, when you talk about a story, right, there should always be high stakes, right? There should always be a stake should be high. What kind of, for example, if I say, give me an accomplishment in your life, okay, what is the biggest significant accomplishment in your life? Accomplishment becomes significant when the crisis is very big, when the stakes are high, right? A hero will become a hero when villain is very big. We understand what I'm saying? When villain is powerful, that's when hero becomes a hero, right? If the villain is big, then what is the heroism? Correct? No, like that. The situation, the crisis should be so big where the stakes are high. There could be personal loss, there could be severe damage if things are not resolved, if the problems are not solved, if the crisis is not addressed. There is significant loss. There is significant loss, right? Right? People are going to lose jobs. Companies are going to shut down. Clients are going to go away. A lot of turmoil can come up. And what is that you have done during that time? Right? You got beaten up. You got humiliated. You said you are a failure. Everybody said you cannot do this for sure shot. You don't have it in you. People told you this. From there, you raised a bar and said, hey, I have it in me. I'm going to show it to you. And you did everything that is possible. You understand what I'm saying? The journey, this is what what you have done is very important, right? What is your journey? What are all the different things you did? What challenges that you face? How did you overcome those challenges? Right? Things doesn't happen, guys. Things doesn't happen just like that. Right? The journey is important. People have gone there. People have built companies, or people have gone to the top colleges. Everyone had the journey. They did not go randomly. They did not just get into those colleges randomly, right? They had a journey. Bring out the journey and articulate it, right? Articulate it, dramatize. Very, very important. There's a drama, of course, but you have to tell that, right? In amazing story format. That's very, 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 very important. Okay. And give a happy ending. I know all the stories may not have a happy ending. If it doesn't have a happy ending, that's fine. But when you're talking about accomplishment kind of story, the story should have a happy ending. You understand? The story should have a happy ending, right? Right. And always try to tie the knots very tight, right? Don't leave loose ends. And like, what is he talking about? Why is he jumping from one side to another side to another side? Don't do like that. Create a nice line of a story. That's what I'm going to talk next. It should be in a beautiful narrative format. You create a beginning, a middle, and the end. The flow should be seamless, right? You're talking about a situation, a crisis situation, then the initiative that you have taken, what kind, and then the action that you took, and then what challenges that have you faced while taking that action. Right? Let's say that you have people in your team who are almost all double your age, and they are not listening to you. They're like, hey, we will not listen to you. So what do you do in such situations? Right? What kind of leadership skills, what kind of leadership role have you played? What kind of leadership style that you have demonstrated to pull the team together and get the things done? You understand? Suddenly there are no resources. Your boss said, oh, I'm not backing you. Then what did you do? Right? So what kind of leadership style, what kind of leadership role that you have demonstrated during these crisis, challenging, tough situations, right? What did you do? That becomes very important for the B schools. for the colleges that you're intending to apply, particularly when you are looking at any of the business schools, right? And what kind of results have you generated? And this result, if they can be quantifiable, my product, if you're an engineering student, can save millions of people's life, right? Okay, if you are a business thing, my actions, this particular thing has reduced the turnaround time by, let's say, 75%, and thereby increase the productivity by 200%, right? And save the company, let's say, $10 million. Quantify. Every result should be a quantifiable result in some form, right? You understand what I'm saying? You have a situation, right? You have a situation, you have a crisis situation, do or die kind of situation. If that is not resolved, then everything goes for the toss. And then you took an initiative, you jumped in, it's like, I'm going to solve this problem. But it was not easy. There was many challenges in the process. Challenge number one, challenge number two. And what did you do to overcome those challenges, right? What kind of leadership style you demonstrated while overcoming those challenges? If it is daunting, you have to say, it was freaking daunting. I got shit scared when I saw this, but I kind of calmed down myself. I went into inner self and I went to spiritual thing, and I like, yes, I can do it. I first try to get complete control over myself. You understand what I'm saying? For a second, for a day, I was like totally shocked. I just didn't know what is happening, right? But next day I came back, right? I failed, I lost in a business, huge amount of money was lost. I think it is a dead end. It's over for me. And from there I came back. I failed in all the subjects. I thought it is over for me. I came back from there, right? So like that, you understand? Situation, always a crisis, initiatives, challenges, and how did you overcome those challenges? What results? Quantifiable results. And remember, anything happens in your life, every situation, every incident in your life will give you learnings. Okay, if you're not learning anything, that's meaningless. Particularly when colleges ask for the failures, guys, there are a lot of times in the interviews and in the essays, colleges ask for what are your failures, right? So I see this one big mistake most of us doing. They elaborate on failure so much so that, right, they project themselves as some weak person, as a loser. No. When they're asking you about failure, they're not asking you to elaborate on failure. Like, mention the failure. Yes, I failed. This is where I failed. All my team members suddenly quit my company. Then I went to introspection. I saw what is the mistake I did. I realized my mistake, and then I took a corrective measure. And next time when I built my team was super strong, right? Learnings are very important. And what happened post that learnings, how things have changed for you after that learnings, becomes very important. You understand what I'm saying? Right? These learnings are very important, right? At every single stage, business schools are looking for a leader. Graduate schools, engineering schools are looking for an innovator. Are you the one? Right? Whether it is a business school leader or is an engineering school innovator, are you solving problems that the human beings are facing today? Are you here to make a world a better place? That's very important, right? Okay, that comes to the goals. That's what take me to the goals. What are you here for, boss? What are your goals? Are you here to get a degree and go and join Facebook, Amazon, and make some $100,000? I want to become product manager in Amazon. For yourself, okay, go become. I am not going to give you an MBA degree, right? I want to work in Big Four. Okay, go work. I'm not going to give you admission, right? If your goals are about your own self, it's about you and only you, sorry, you're not looking at the top business schools. You're not looking at top graduate schools. If you do not have in mind the specific problem that you intended to solve, you might not be solving the same problem after you graduate. You might have discovered another pressing problem which you wanted to solve. But At this point in time, do you have in your mind some idea of what problem you would want to solve? Right? That's a kind of, that shows that you are involved in the world that you are living in. You are not living in some isolated world. You know the problems that the humanity and the human world is facing today. It could be starting from a climate change, sustainable things, right, to a basic sewage problem in your community. You understand what I'm saying? From electricity to a bus accident, problems. People are losing lives. People are facing problems. There is a hunger. There is crime. There is a whole bunch of things everywhere. Do you know what is happening in the world? Do you know that? Right? Do you worry? Are you worried about those problems? Do you want to solve any of those problems using technology if you are a technology specialist? Using your business and leadership skills if you are a business school person? You need to have the kind, you need to do some kind of research. Don't randomly, I want to do an MBA, I want to get a better job. This is where people is 740, 750 won't go to the top business schools. People with great GRE scores won't go to the top graduate schools. This is the reason. Are you a person who wants to make a world a better place, a safer place, a healthier place? If not, please, you're not fit for the top graduate schools. Right? If you are the person who think about your own self, please don't come near us. That's what the B schools or the graduate schools have to say. Right? Show some love for the humanity, for the community that you're living in. Right? For everything, there should be a background story. They should be, the more personal your goals become, the better it is. Right? There should be a background story. You cannot come up random stories. There should be a good background story. Okay. And then again, of course, why this particular school? Very, very important. You have to understand how this particular school is going to help your goal. Don't apply to a school because of the brand. Don't apply to the school because of the brand. They know that they are the best brand. They know that there's a huge competition. If your goals are not aligned with the school's goals, you will not get admitted. I'm telling you very clearly. If you do not show in your essays how the school can help you, what courses, what research centers, which professors, right, what specialization, and how they are aligned to your goals, what is that you intended to learn, that will help you achieve your goals. That has to be clearly connected. They should be very tightly connected. They should not be loose ends. Don't say, yo, you are a famous school, prestigious schools have renowned faculty, extraordinary infrastructure. They know that. That's there in the brochure. You tell what is mattered to what is it, what is relevant to you. You understand what I'm saying? Right? That requires effort. That requires research. People don't want to put that effort. They just want to write, oh, yours is the best school. No, you don't get admission like that. Go into the website, see the professors, what kind of work that they are doing. If you're engineering students, what kind of research each one of the professor is doing. What is your area of interest, right? Are you in sync with any of the professors? Have you worked in a similar domain? Speak about that. You understand? Have you put an effort to speak to your peers, speak to the current students, speak to the alumni, right? Have you spent a little bit of time that I want to speak to the alumni and see, what kind of school it is, what we should gain from the school, what are the important things that are there in the school, what are the good professors, what kind of courses we should be looking at. Have you ever put an effort to do that? We just want to go to the top business school. That's it. Period. Nothing else. Can I go to London Business School? Can I go to London School of Economics? Can I go to? No, you can definitely. Why not? Mass, you can. But this is the route. You have to put an effort. It doesn't come like that, just like that, right? Okay, very, very important. And then last but not the least, very important element in this is the grammar, spell check. Make sure that you write good sentences, neat sentences. Don't try to write haywire. Okay, try to write your own story. Okay, if you are hiring a consultant like us, we are here to guide you. Okay, we are here to guide you, right? We are here to show you the right direction, but you write so that your real self comes into the picture. You understand? We are here to guide. We are here to pour all our experiences. We are here to, make sure that you do significant amount of introspection to know who you are, what you are, how you should design your goals, what should be your goals, right? We'll motivate you, we'll show you the direction, but it is you who has to start putting in the things together. You write. We schools are very, very particular that you student should write. Consultants can help. Consultants should not write. That is wrong way. Consultants should not write. You should write. Consultants should guide. That's what we do. We guide. We guide you how you should structure your essays. What should come first? What should come later? What is the point that you missed? What's the point that you should add? That's what we are here for, right? But you write. When you write, keep your sentences in active voice. Narrate your story in the first person. And keep sentences simple. Even when you send us the essays to review, right? If you can't understand what is written, it should not be like that, right? Keep the sentences simple in direct voice, active voice, and make sure that you do some grammar check, some spell check, that we don't even know you're suddenly moving from past tense to present tense to future tense to whatever tense it is. Don't do that. Write a proper sentences in a proper sentence, neatly designed paragraph with an appropriate transitions. We have a very special workshop where we will help you on how to write, what are the different elements, how to look for the transitions, where you can give the transition. We are working on a special workshop which we will come up with. That's going to be a paid workshop, of course, but we are going to come up with all those things, right? What kind of transition that you use, how you should your transition, what should be a beginning, middle, and the end, right? And what kind of sentence structures you should do, what you should not use, right? Those things we are going to talk about. And word limit is very important. Don't abuse word limits, right? Now there are some word limits, sometimes there are no word limits. Sometimes there are some questions where they say 300 words, so you have to stick to 295, 300 maximum. Don't give 305, 310, 320 like that. At the same time, there are certain times where they did not mention word limit. Just because they did not mention word limit, don't go 700, 900 words. The mandatory essay, they give you 300 words. For the optional essay, because they didn't keep the word limit, you don't give some 1,000 words essay there. Keep it to 300 words, 350 words. Respect them. Tell what you want to tell. All the junk they will remove anyways. You understand? These small things are very, very important, guys. These are very, very important for you to get an admission into the desired college, right? Recommendations are very important. Make sure that recommendations are in a story format. Don't let those recommendations be a bunch of adjectives. It should be substantiated with appropriate examples. If your recommender think that you are, let's say that a great leader, give an example. Why does he think that? If your recommender think you are a problem solver, ask him to give an example. Why does he think that way? If your recommender thinks that you have an excellent oral and written communication skills, which you should focus on, by the way, at least one of your recommender should focus on your oral written communication skills. Whether you are applying for a master's program or you're applying for an MBA program, your recommender should focus on 2-3 most important points. At least one recommender. One is your oral and written communication skills. 2 is your analytical and problem solving skills. 3 is your academic skills, your ability to learn in academic environment and succeed. These 3 elements are must. Do not have a recommendation missing these 3 elements. That will be a junk. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And don't give bunch of adjectives. They're tired. Give stories, and they should be in coherence with what you are mentioning in the essays. You understand? Everything should be beautifully aligned, tight profile, right? Which means you need to talk to your recommenders from the beginning. Don't randomly recommender. I have a deadline coming in. Let's say today is what, 25th of October, 25th of September. I have a deadline coming in 7th of October. Please write a recommendation. No, you have to prepare your recommender. I'm applying to this college. These are the recommendation questions. I want you to highlight on these points. Can you please do that for me? You have to spend time. Some of the recommenders can be very, very busy, but if they are serious about you, they will spend time with you. Otherwise, don't take recommendation from them. It is going to be waste. Recommendation decides your admission. 2% of the applications get rejected every year because of bad recommendations. You don't know. right? So please, that's itself as an effort, 1.5 to 2 months of effort to get a strong recommendation from your right recommender. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so and as I said, we essentially help you with the entire journey, like what kind of colleges that you should apply, what programs you should be looking at. We'll be helping you build the content, what essay question, what content should go. We will provide you 100% mentoring and guiding sessions on how you should go about building an essay, what content should go, how it should go, what it should go. Please be remember, we will not write the essay. This is against the law, and we will not do that. What we will do for you is help you write stellar essays, right? We will help you do those things, but we will yes help you edit. We will help you put the things in more structured manner, right? So that real you comes out. You understand? Real you comes out. Yes, our services are expensive, but that does not mean to say that we are going to write for you. We will not. Nobody should. That's not a right way to do the things at all. Okay, but we will guide you. Our guidance has helped people get into some of the best colleges and the top 10-15 colleges in the world. So that's what we are going to do, right? Help you build an amazing impressive essays, help you develop and build content, right? Help you get great recommendations from your recommenders. Those are the things that we will help you with. We'll also help you with interview in case there is an interview where in the interview, essentially we will connect to one of the recent graduate from the business school, alumni of the business school, or even one of the admissions committee itself, to give you a mock interview, to tell you what you have done correct, what you have done wrong, and make sure that you go in the right direction, right? So these are things that we provide you guys. Wonderful. So any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to answer. So I'm not seeing the YouTube thing. So if I have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. You can share a question with me and I will be able to answer those questions. Any questions? Feel free to send it to me. I'm going to close this presentation. I'm going to have a whiteboard here. So you guys can ask me questions and I'll be more than happy to answer. In the YouTube where it has been shared. Thing right here it is. Okay, he's volunteering for the call. I'm just hearing the questions, guys. Is volunteering for college activities considered a community service? Yes, why not? Definitely. Anything non-commercial where you're not getting paid for it, can be considered community service. Any difference? Basically, you need to create an impact. That's very, very important, right? The impact is very important. Okay. Cool. Anything else? Any other question? Any other question? Feel free to ask me. Okay, cool. Perfect. So that's that for this evening, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful time. And I will hopefully see you in one of my admission sessions henceforth, right? Round 1 is almost all closed for many of the top business schools. Round 2 is also approaching, particularly for MBA admissions. So please get in touch with us if you have any questions. We'll be more than happy to help you out even later. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.